Hello everybody, this is the Airing It Out podcast. I am Sam and welcome to our series, the 12 Days of Mindfulness-mas, where we are counting down the 12 days to Christmas with new episodes every single day with tips and tricks on how to look after yourself and the people around you during this Christmas series. We hope you enjoy, stay tuned and take care of yourselves. We know how it goes. It's typical with men. It's typical with British people, full stop. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I'm alright, thanks. How are you? Yeah, I'm okay. None of which is a true reflection of how we're actually doing. We've managed to surmise entirely how we're feeling and learn how the other person is supposedly feeling in 2 or 3 words. And neither of which might actually be a genuine reflection of how the person's doing. And I mean, I'm sure we've all been there as well, where we have asked somebody how they're doing, knowing full well that they are not doing okay, and that's been their response. Yeah, I'm alright, or yeah, I'm okay. But what we're trying to do today on our 12 days of mindfulness-mas is start by asking twice and asking, hey, how are you doing? Yeah, I'm okay. Alright, but how are you really doing? It seems pretty simple to do, but sometimes it can be quite hard to ask, because what you're doing is you're asking somebody to authentically portray how they feel. And there could be a number of reasons why we don't do that. Sometimes for men it feels inappropriate as the breadwinner or being the responsible person for our household. If I let you into how I'm feeling, then that kind of compromises this idea of me being the strong, independent one. Sometimes men can feel ashamed about how they're really feeling because they want to be strong. There are a lot of generational, cultural and societal implications that make us still want to uphold that stereotype of being a strong man. And by feeling this certain way, by talking about this certain feeling, we might be portraying that in some way. But that isn't the case. You know, if we want to be stronger, if we want to be there for each other, if we want to be independent in being able to rely on ourselves, then sometimes that means taking care of ourselves. That means sometimes taking time for maintenance, sharing how we're doing, talking about how we're doing, addressing that issue so it doesn't become a bigger issue. So today's episode is short and sweet, and the idea of it is, let's be there for each other, or more appropriately, let's really be there for each other. So if you're in a situation where you're talking to a mate, you've just met up with him, or you feel like checking in, how are you doing? How are you really doing? And just start that conversation. Thank you for joining us on the 12 Days of Mindfulness. I hope that this one has resonated with you and you're able to apply it. Although it's a small tool and a short, quick episode, it is quite a powerful one because it's cutting through all of these barriers that we put up in front of ourselves that we so easily and so readily use. And it's cutting straight to the core of it. How are you really doing? And that can, sometimes when someone's not talking, what's going on? It's rambling. Yeah. So thank you for joining us on this episode of the 12 Days of Mindfulness. So thank you for joining us for today's episode of 12 Days of Mindfulness-mas. It's a short, a sweet one, but that's okay because while the content, the meat and potatoes of this one is quite short and concise, the impact of it can be quite profound. You don't know what someone's going through. You don't know what someone's hiding. You don't know what someone wants to share but doesn't feel like they are able to, for any number of reasons. So how are you doing? How are you really doing? Cuts through that. It cuts that down and says, tell me what's going on. How are you actually doing? Give me more than just a 3-word response. And that's being there for somebody, and that's caring for somebody, and that's what Christmas is about. So Please try and apply this when you talk to your friends, when you meet up with them, when you go for a beer, or whatever it is that you're doing. And tune in tomorrow for another episode of the Airing It Out podcast's 12 Days of Mindfulness-mas. Nearly. So here we are at the end of the episode. Thank you for sticking around. Hopefully it means that you didn't get too bored if you lasted this long, so we appreciate you staying. Just a reminder, if you did want to stay in touch with what it is that we're doing, you can follow us on our socials and wherever it is that you're hearing this podcast, whether it be YouTube or Spotify. And if you did want to donate to us and help support us keep doing what we're doing, you can find links to the donation page, which is Buy Me a Coffee, on our website and through our link tree on our socials. Thank you again for tuning in. All of the links can be found in the description, and we sincerely hope that you join us for our next episode. Please take care of yourself, and we'll see you again.